Okay, so here we have the sewing machine. The thread is sitting right here. You take your thread and you have the loose end to unwind. This right here is your thread spool, and it goes right inside this little hole. You set the thread on here. Then on this particular machine, and a lot of them, I'll tilt it so you can see, there's usually a little bit of a diagram, which is helpful. It has these dark circles, the 1, 2, the 3, and the 4 for threading to thread a bobbin, and then the single numbers, like on this one right here, that will guide you through how to thread your top thread. So this one has the 1, you pull it through this little groove, and then it shows the arrow is pointing downward in this direction. So you'll look down this way and you follow till you find your number 2. So I'll show you on this one. You unwind your thread and it comes through the back, and there's a little thin guide in there that's actually, it's stuck inside of, kind of like a little loop. So that goes in there, and you kind of hold it a little bit tight as you guide it through here. So this is a little bit harder to see, but there is a number 2 right here that's just white, but it's on the plastic. So there's a slot right here that this will go down, and then right down here is the number 3, and you can see that this arrow curls around and then points back up. So you take your thread and you loop it around, and then you pull it all the way up in this slot still, and inside here there is a metal bar that you'll want to wrap that over, and it's hard to see it on here because it doesn't ever really pop out, but there's a metal bar right here that has a slot in the top, and as you hook your thread into that, it's caught, and there's a little loop hole. So now it's going to come back down right here in the same slot that it went up. So I had a number 4 up here, and then there's a number 5 right down here with the arrow pointing down. So the thread comes down right here, and then you're going to go through the process of threading the needle itself. All right, so right down here is where the number 5 was, and our thread is down here. And you come all the way back in here. There's a little guide that slides right into, like that. So you can see that the thread is behind this little metal guide. So then from here, you would thread this right through the eye of the needle, right down here. My finger's behind there. You can see that there's a tiny little hole. So this machine has a needle threader, which is awesome. You would pull your thread on this little loop right here, and then as it's hooked on there, as this comes down, it goes right behind the eye, and you put that in there, and it pulls it right through the hole. So then you can pull the thread out right through the back, and then your needle is threaded. You could slide it right through the slot in this foot so that it comes out the back. And you always want your thread to come out from underneath out the back side. So that right there is how you thread your needle. Now when you do this, make sure that you have your power turned off. We have the extra light on right here because it makes it a lot easier to see the small detail, but you want to make sure that you don't have the power on, because you never want to have this actually engage and start sewing while you have your hands in here. So for this part right here, I'm just going to show you how you would actually change this needle right here. You would simply unscrew this right here, and it'll loosen the needle, and then you can slide the needle out. Just pay attention to the direction that the needle's in. So when you put the new one in, it goes in facing the same way. That little screwdriver that came in the pouch can loosen this, but on most it's finger tight. And so you could just twist it like that. And then the needle itself will just pull right out. So here you have your needle. You can kind of see that it's flat on the back, and then the front side is rounded. So generally, like for this machine, it goes in flat back. So the flat side's on the back side, and it slides right up into that space, up as high as it'll go, and then you'll tighten the screw right here, and it will hold it in place. So you would just guide that right up there into that little hole. Just hold it in place and then tighten the screw, and you can feel it, it'll grab it. And then your needle's in there, and it's tight and it's in place, and finger tight is fine. Makes it easier to change them out when you need to.